you'll notice that most of the decisions you make around money and building wealth for yourself and whatnot comes from a place of being scared and fearful of not having enough, not being able to pay the bills, not being able to live the life you want to live. And there is another way of seeing these things, right? And it's a very subtle awareness, if you like, because it's a conditioned response for the human organism to seek security, shelter, all those things. I mean, look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Those first couple of stages on the hierarchy, it's like shelter, food, water, all these things. And as we progress through them, we should, theoretically at least, get to a place of abundance whereby we operate from a place of creation and not being fearful of not having enough, but of what we can actually do with that money and with that energy that we've sort of harnessed in our bank account, as it were, as we've stored in our bank account. You'll notice that you probably, because I catch myself there as well quite often, is that you're doing daily behaviours and habits to make sure that you're safe and secure. You're trying to control everything and make sure that nothing's going to sort of rattle your paradigm, and none of the decisions you make are going to take a big enough risk that you're going to lose something, right? Now, this mentality is what keeps people locked into the standard educational system, school, university, 9-to-5 job. It keeps them in 40 years working for other people. So yeah, it keeps you safe to a degree, although that's a little bit illusory. But it also traps you in that cage, and you'll always be in that fear-based, fear-driven consciousness, if you like, or state of awareness. And there is a different way of doing things. Now, to me, this sort of happened organically. So there wasn't any particular behaviour that makes you go from I'm fearful of losing some and I'm fearful of not being able to pay my bills to something more like, well, I can go and create something in the world and I can go and make an impact. That's sort of happened on its own, where the environment that I created for myself supported that. So there's no like behaviour that you can do necessarily, other than surrounding yourself with the right people, with the right information, read more books that reveal these things to you, keep the body healthy and all that. And that environment that you'll create for yourself there is what will move the consciousness shift will happen naturally, right? And that's sort of what happened to me. Now I still fall into this fear-based and scarcity mindset, if you like, quite a lot. Every day I'll catch myself at some point, and I do a lot of property transactions and whatever, and very often I'll say, what have I even done that for? That's just, we'll make some money, so what am I going to do with that now? But if you have a bigger vision and a bigger reason why you do what you're doing, so people who've got kids and whatever, you might be doing what you're doing for them. A lot of people are, but still that could be quite fear-based. It's like, oh, I haven't got food on the table for my kids and whatever. And once you've gone past that level, that scarcity level, you need to sort of move forward and up the Maslow's hierarchy of needs towards transcendence, towards doing something bigger than you. So if you look at Elon Musk now, and there's a lot of like conspiracies about him and whatever, but take it on face value. You look at Elon Musk and he's sending rocket ships up and internet all around the planet and all that. Again, taking it at face value, he's doing something bigger than him as an individual. And that's an abundant mind, right? He never lacks resources, he never lacks capital. anybody can tap into that. I'm not saying you're going to get as big as Elon Musk or anything, but in terms of what he's doing in the world, but you can tap into what you want to be doing. I can speak for myself that I don't, trade and do property deals and all this because necessarily I want to be doing property deals all day long. I do it because there's a bigger vision and something bigger than me at play that requires that in the immediate term. But a lot of people don't. They don't have that. They might think they do, but they don't. And they're just trapped themselves into a job or a self-employed business that is essentially a job that they don't really want to be going to. They're just doing it just to cover bases. And that doesn't need to be the way to do things, So just, if there's an actionable point I'd take, there's a couple, I'd say clean your environment up. Surround yourself with better people. Surround yourself with good information, aka books, that open your mind to different ways of seeing the world. Business books and things like that from people who have been there and done where you want to be going to. And another action point I'd say is just start noticing when you fall into the fear-based habitual patterns. They're natural, we adapt to the environment around us, but sometimes maladaptations take place and our ego doesn't relate to reality as abundantly as it could. We're too busy trying to keep safe and secure and certain of everything and whatever, and that keeps you trapped in your own mind, right? And it keeps your external world trapped into your way of seeing things, and you can change that. You can change your reality by the way that you change your worldview. Your reality shifts with that. So just start, as another actionable point, just start noticing your ego when it falls into fear patterns. And you can catch yourself and go, I'm doing this, I'm stuck in my job, for example, and I'm unhappy and I'm doing all these behaviours. Is there something I could be doing different right now to sort of elevate your consciousness, as it were, to higher levels, to seeing things differently, because you become naturally more abundant, there's more openness. Abundant isn't about money, abundance is about how you see reality. So people say, abundant wealth mindset and all that, it's bullshit, that is. Abundance is how you see the world, the wealth follows it. Wealth takes care of itself when you have a worldview that's more accurate, which is an abundant one. If you look around you now, everything's abundant, it's overflowing, nature's overflowing. But we get so trapped in fear and what we need to be doing to pay bills and all this, which you do need to take care of. But when that's your sole focus and you don't sort of expand beyond that, once that's taken care of, you get trapped. And that's what most of the world, well, in the Western world at least, that's what most of the Western world is stuck in.